So our engagement today was to bring all the SMEs together and look at what are those binding constraints that inhibit SMEs to benefit from regional integration agenda.
Today's conference was organized by the East African Community, the East African Business Council and Kenya in recognition of the critical role that SMEs play in uplifting their economies.
80% of employment across Africa is created from SMEs. At least 50% of Africa's GDP is from SMEs. So if we want to develop Africa as a continent, if we want to have children in schools, healthcare, education, sustainable agriculture, all of that is going to happen through SMEs. There is tremendous opportunity for trade right now. With DRC's inclusion into the EAC, EAC now has a population of over 300 million people and a GDP of over $250 billion. That's availability for SMEs to trade and serve those people. All those 300 million people they need clothes, they need shoes, they need tea, they need coffee. Those are SME opportunities. That $250 billion of GDP is free for SMEs to serve. There's never been a more exciting time to be an SME in EAC and to be an SME in Africa. Never been a more exciting time.
SMEs are still facing numerous challenges as majority do not last for a year. The Council discussed a number of solutions to achieve the regional economic integration agenda.
Of issues related to our taxation regime that are not conducive, the issues related to standards, the issues related to digital technologies, how we roll out those instruments that have been crafted since we launched the customs union and common market. So we have agreed that we need to harmonize our incentives that would boost the growth of SMEs. We've also agreed that we need to build more capacity and train our SMEs to access some of the financial services and products that have been developed by our banks. So we've also agreed that we need to relook and map out our SMEs policies and strategy across. Third intervention is around training and capacity building for our SMEs to access finance, affordable and cheap finance. As I mentioned, we have engaged the Equity Bank and they are very keen to support SMEs in terms of capacity building and accessing the loans provided by Equity Bank in terms of what they call recovery and resilience in the region. We're also working with Afrexim Bank to bring some of the products that are very affordable and conducive to mitigate some of the risks that were highlighted by SMEs related to access to finance.
The portal will help in sharing of information about the opportunities available in the region, addressing product-related challenges and boosting facilitation initiatives.
We call My Isoko platform. You can look at the platform. It is all inclusive. Those in agriculture, those in manufacturing, those in services, all are including professional related SMEs are all involved into this initiative.
SME Portal is an opportunity to enable SMEs to take up e-commerce, to access these markets and to make it easier to access the tremendous opportunity available. Our portal is a directory. What do you need? You need a supplier for this, you need a customer for this, or you are a customer buying something. You search your product, it pops up. You have options, you have the pricing, and everything is extremely clear in your currency of choice. Now you're not changing currencies, you can pay in your home currency. Currently at least 10% of the value of transactions is lost just in changing currencies. We've resolved that.
It will require integration of women who are still challenged in adopting to technology.
The majority of women cross-border traders, for example, are not very well schooled, so it becomes very, very difficult to engage in some of these online platforms. But at the same time, we cannot run away from where we are going. So I think we shall need to maybe request our governments, request our development partners to see how they can help that such platforms that come up are simplified in the language the women traders understand.
Kampala traders intend to tap into the platform as well.
Of course, once such initiative, once they have appreciated it and they are able to take it on, definitely we see the women expanding their businesses beyond a particular border. For example, if I've been trading at Mutukula, most likely now I'll be able to send my commodities all the way to Dar es Salaam or to Nairobi and Mombasa. Yeah, so we believe that even as the African Continental Free Trade Area expands our reach, these women will be able to send their products without physically traveling to those countries. Because currently the challenge is if you want to trade, we have to physically meet and interact and trust each other. But the online trade, you are able to put your product out there, you are able to receive payment from the buyer without ever seeing the buyer or even talking on phone.
So there you have it in regards to the SMEs having a portal. Now, in simple understanding of this particular portal is that it is more of a platform where you as a small and medium-sized entrepreneur or business owner, you get an opportunity to showcase what you have. And there are also language options, Kiswahili, English, whereby someone from, let's say, a country like Kenya, let's say Tanzania, can easily see the products that you're selling. I think this is a time when we look at the SMEs getting into more of the technology space and utilizing that digital space to see how they can compete for those top spots, because we want to develop the East African community and give it and we want to give it at least a huge perspective of looking at how Ugandan traders can link up with Tanzanians, can link up with Kenyans, because either way, this link up makes it easier. Trust me, the link up makes it easier for these people to at least get more money and increase the exports. From the Uganda's side of view, we can increase our exports. Then the small and medium-sized enterprises can as well expand their business capacity. And so you're looking at how the potential this portal comes with. So the portal was launched to create access of businesses whereby someone won't need to move from various places to places. We've been talking about the importance of technology, and this is one of these. When we talk about technology, is that the East African Business Council launched the regional platform geared towards supporting the growth and prosperity of SMEs. The platform is designed to enable them benefit from the regional integration agenda. As when you look at this, as an entrepreneur, I believe the trader community in Uganda is entirely SMEs, and that is over 90% of those fall under there. So when you look at that, with these platforms, you just take a picture of what you sell or your business, you talk about it, give a simple profile about your business, put it onto the portal, and from that portal, potential customers from these different countries can easily relate to you. They can easily relate to what you're selling. And exactly there is when they get to see that, so Joram Paul's business deals with this and this and this. So Joram sells this, and this. And then they are looking for Paul. Paul is selling this, and this. They're looking for Gloria. Gloria is selling this, and this. So we're looking at a business where people are creating these opportunities that you can sell this, you can offer this, so that a trader in Kenya or a potential customer in Kenya can easily buy from you, even without physical movement. And in the long run, when you create an intercontinental, I should say, or a cross-border business market space, you will see your business expanding, because then you're going to realize a lot of people are getting to know about the business you're dealing in, the products that you're selling or the service that you're rendering. And either way, it is to promote the East African community integration agenda, whereby it is one East Africa, it is definitely one single currencies as well in the is actually in the build-up of that. So when you look at how we want to boost economy on the EAC block, these are some of the things that we need to look at business-wise, technology, and then also as well look at how we can push it further by enabling people to understand these various situations. And the key discussions are definitely something that you would wish to have, and you would definitely wish to be of huge expectancy in that perspective. And now, looking at also the other side of the coin, is that this is not only providing room for market, but providing room for networking. And we've talked about networking in today's tip, that never stop networking. If you are a business person in Uganda, you get to connect with someone in Tanzania, you get to connect with someone in Kenya. In this way, you're interconnecting, or you are networking with people that are going to give you new ideas of how they're doing business. A way a Kenyan is actually doing business and how they're gaining profits may not differ from how you're making the profits here. But since we're in two different economies, the tactics and the strategies sometimes change. So you get to realize which strategies do the Kenyans use and which strategies do the Ugandans use. And if you were to look at that, we as well get to realize how is Kenya promoting the production of local commodities or local content, local produce. And either way, we put it back into a Ugandan perspective of the Buy Uganda, Build Uganda. How best can we also promote it? And how best can we see the development of our exports and the growth of our export capacity in Uganda? So looking at it in that way, you will get to realize how important it is for such a portal to come on board. We look at the technology part, for example, in Africa. We've got to realize most of the economies are turning digital, and turning digital alone clearly shows you that you're willing to expand beyond your reach. Expanding beyond your reach, whereby with just a login, you can connect with a buyer from Nigeria, you can connect with a buyer from Egypt, from Mauritania, you can connect from a buyer from South Africa, one from Madagascar, you can connect to a buyer in the Americas, that is the South America continent, or even the North American continent, or even Europe, Asia, and all of that, Australia, name it. But with this technology, we get to realize how important it is to utilize this space. And this portal clearly shows you that East African community is moving towards the e-commerce sector, and they've got to realize how important it is to follow that side of the journey. You need to follow it. That step is the most important part of everything. I'll keep telling people normally is that we hope and we keep looking at how the East African communities are going to integrate and create bilateral relations in terms of trade. That is why even with the initial, with the fact that the DRC is into the East African community, the wrangles between the two countries, Rwanda and the DRC, that have been ongoing are those that we are steadily working upon to see how these two countries can get back in terms of the political talks to stabilize the situation politically and create a security stability workspace for the business people to prevail. And clearly that is how business is done normally. You have to create all avenues that will strengthen the opportunities to go beyond and beyond. We're looking at how best we can develop each other, how best the region can develop, how best the region can evolve. And entirely how we do that is looking at the opportunities on the market, how we can utilize them. Now the portal is here. Now for the small and medium-sized enterprises, this portal is an opportunity for you to log in. There are language options, like I said, there are definitely options. It's just like any other app or any other portal that you open, you get to interconnect with various traders that are traders from the East African community block, the trader community, the small and medium-sized enterprises. That is a sector that employs almost the highest percentage of self-employed Africans when you talk about the small and medium-sized enterprises, because most of these are people who are both literates and illiterates. For example, if you're to look at this sector, it is a sector that does not look at qualifications. So it's a sector that clearly looks at one, experience, determination, how you perceive something, your perception of something. It's where they definitely look at with this sector. It is how dedicated you are, how determined you are, which are your priorities. Are you willing to take the risks? Are you willing to execute every detail that comes your way? So that is the sector for you, the small and medium-sized enterprise. So for those that are yet to turn digital, now with this portal, you can get to realize how important it is to turn digital. We've been encouraging people with our business reports, experts coming in here and there to remind Ugandans of how important it is for you to create a website, to create a WhatsApp business for yourself, to create a page on either Twitter, to create an account on Twitter or a page on Facebook that is entirely business. Why? Because if you build your network on social media, because almost everyone in the country, a huge number of the population is now already having smartphones and they already have access to WhatsApp, Facebook, or either way Twitter. So when you have the opportunity to at least utilize that social media space, use it, interconnect, use it to network with these people, not only creating friends, but creating business ideas, creating business friends that are going to give you money in the long run, because that we're in a generation that definitely is driven by money. You need to see how you're going to get money. Create streams where you're going to be generating some income, regardless of whether it is leisure, whether you're on social media to create partnerships with people, create friendship with people. How best are you going to get the money though? Because the money remains priority. The money is a top-notch issue if you're to look at that. So the portal is there for the small and medium-sized enterprises, a sector that is quick to recover. Last week there was the exhibition. I don't know how many of you went in there, but it's quite important for you to be aware of almost everything that happens in your sector. You being a trader, I believe if I'm speaking of small and medium-sized enterprises, I'm not leaving out anyone who works in arcades. That is your sector. Speaking about people in markets, you fall under that sector. People who are actually selling goods in our residential shops that we know, our local buduka, that is your sector. So it is a wide range of a sector. Those who are having mini shops, wholesale shops, that is the sector. People owning supermarkets that are not mega hypermarkets, that is your sector. So clearly, small and medium-sized enterprises goes beyond the boutiques, salons, and everybody. I think that is entirely if you're to move around the city and move around town. The first step you have is definitely moving into the small and medium-sized enterprise. It's unless when you're a person who owns a shopping mall, you own a factory, that is when you're falling into the macro. You own an industry, of which there are very few individuals in the country though. So the rest are falling under the small. Then majority, I should say, are under the small. Then there are those who are falling under the medium, who are able to at least rent that actually renting in shopping malls, renting expensive spaces and all those. So those can definitely fall into the medium. But if I'm talking about this sector, it is time for us to utilize this space. The East African community is a community that not only focuses on integration from the political perspective, it is a community that also focuses on developing different ideas of one, technology, two, innovation, three, looking at how people can pitch in ideas, and that is exactly what we will do. And with the fact that now Kiswahili has well been initiated as a language, as an official language for the community, and also the second official language in Uganda, I think when you look at that as a small and medium-sized enterprise owner, or if you fall under the sector, it is vital for you to at least know one or two, English or Kiswahili, because trade and language barrier sometimes conflict. So either way, you need to work on that. Regardless of whether people say money, sometimes the money language is the easiest to cope up with, but then sometimes you'll get to realize how important it is for you to learn more languages, because you may move out of the country and then you need to at least bargain. Sometimes bargaining is also important in business. And if you can't bargain, if your bargaining power is less, sometimes it will affect you, and it will affect the money that you're going to get or the goods that you're going to acquire. Sometimes someone may actually sell something very expensive to you, which seems to be cheaper because your language is not in line with his. He's maybe good in Kiswahili and not good in English, and then you happen to go to Kenya, or you're doing business in here, and then you all fall out, and just simply because of the bargaining power or because of the language. So it's something that we need to look at as the East African community and the members of the East African community in here. So when we look at the block, development of the block, a lot of things have to be discussed, but the portal is here, a portal that gives the opportunity for the sector members, the sector players, to ideally set out what they are selling, and once you're done setting up what you're selling, showcasing what you're selling, that is going to be there for you to tap into the various spaces that are available in the market. There are quite a number. The East African community provides a huge market space and a huge market potential. And when you look at that, it is also a potential where the East African community, small, medium-sized enterprises sector can expand bigger and members get more money. All right. Thank you very much for sticking around Smart Men's Business. We're still moving harder. After the break, we're getting into something to do with the European Union scholarship, where 15 scholars from Uganda have got themselves a chance to study abroad. And this is courtesy of the European Union. How about that? We got in touch with the head of the European Union delegation in Uganda and also 2 students from Uganda who are going to study abroad. Stick around. That and more is what is coming up after the break. We've got 6 minutes to the top of the hour. This is Smart Men's Business.